Do you guys ever think about when you're gonna die? Probably not that much, right? And that's normal. Most people don't dwell on that stuff too much. They'll probably think you're gonna live peacefully and grow old. But what if I told you that you might die before you even get to your 20s? That's right, guys. Millions of kids die each year. And today, we'll be taking a look at the worst cases ever. We'll even be seeing kids die in a bouncy castle. How does that even happen? Well, watch them find out. So guys, if you want to live a long life, then smash that like button and subscribe. Alright guys, when I was like 8, I wanted to go on an adventure. So I put on my backpack and started walking. I didn't really have a plan, but I also didn't get too far because my mom instantly realized and then went out to pick me up at the local park.
Bruh.
But guys, this kid climbed into a plane alone. And not like into a passenger seat. No, he went under the plane. Let's watch this explanation.
He climbed up into the plane's wheel compartment, hoping to see the world. But he didn't realize the wheel compartment door would open again in the sky. You see, he had run away from home because he wanted to travel. And when his parents caught him and put him into boarding school, he ran away from there as well. He snuck into the airport before smuggling himself onto the plane. And as it took off, he thought he would finally get his wish. But as soon as the door opened again, the boy dropped out. And at that exact same moment, a man was testing out a new camera lens. He snapped this chilling photo, capturing the death of the boy and his dreams.
That poor boy, he just wanted to explore the world and probably saw some cartoon character doing what he did. But guys, never go on a plane if you don't have a seat. Like there were so many examples of people climbing plane thinking they could go to a better country. But when the plane takes off, it's literally impossible not to fall off. His parents must have been horrible if you went to this length just to go somewhere else. And how crazy is that coincidence, by the way? A guy just randomly tests his camera and snaps a picture of him in midair. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. Alright, this next one is just heartbreaking. Maybe even disturbing to some. You'll know those ads where you see starving people in poor countries. I usually just look away. I can't stand looking at other people starving. Like when I skip dinner, I think I might die. So I can't imagine how tough it is for these kids. But guys, you'll see exactly how tough it is for these kids in this video. Take a look. Oh my god, how is it even possible that a person, let alone a child, can survive while being that skinny? Is it breathing extra oxygen? That poor kid. This just breaks my heart. Apparently this kid's name was Edon. Guys, let's all pray for Edon by liking. 1 like equals 1 prayer. Let's hope he survives. But like, I think it's just insane that the world still works like this. Like there are 3,000 billionaires on this planet. And then on the flip side, this is happening to millions of people. I hope the world becomes a better place someday. Speaking of a good place, bouncy castles are always fun. Like I used to love those when I was little. But there's one thing that can ruin even a good thing, like bouncy castles. You might have guessed it, dying in one. Like how can you die in a bouncy castle, you might think? Well, apparently, if it's too windy and you aren't Mary Poppins, then even a bouncy castle can turn deadly. Take a look.
This bouncy house was blown away into the sky with many kids inside. In 2021, Hillcrest Primary School in Tasmania prepared for what was supposed to be a joyful end-of-year celebration. Students were laughing, playing, and enjoying a bouncy house and inflatable Zorb balls set up on the school grounds. But just before 11 a.m., everything changed. Without warning, a powerful gust of wind ripped across the field and struck the bouncy house with terrifying force. In a matter of seconds, the entire structure was lifted 33 feet into the air, carrying several students with it. Teachers watched in horror as children were thrown from the inflatable while others clung to the sides before plummeting to the ground. The bouncy house was hurled upward, twisted by the wind, and then came crashing back down. 6 children between 10 and 11 years old lost their lives from the fall, and several others were left in critical condition. The scene was described as chaotic, frantic, and heartbreaking as the staff and emergency crews raced to save the victims. Parents rushed to the school not knowing whether their children were alive or dead. First responders said it was one of the most traumatic scenes they had ever witnessed.
No way, it wasn't even bad weather. It was just a random gust of wind. Imagine you're just running around in there on a sunny day, and suddenly you're floating into the sky. I would literally pee my pants. I wonder how many actually survived the fall, if anyone. Crazy that 6 people died just cause it wasn't fastened properly. Like if they just tied it down with one rope, this wouldn't have happened. Alright guys, this next one should not have been possible. Y'all, my mom is very worried about salt for some reason. Like for whatever reason, having too much salt actually makes your brain shrink. But actually, this is only the long-term effects. If you get salt injected into your body, your organs literally explode. And that's actually what this woman did to her own son. Take a look.
The tape basically showed Garnet lying sideways across his mother's legs, and he seems happy and ready to be discharged. And then the doctors come in. They were telling her that Garnet looks great, we're gonna discharge you. As soon as those doctors and nurses leave, a few moments later, Lacey walks by with what appears to be a feeding tube in her hand.
It appeared that in her one hand, she has a container. She brought that into that bathroom that would connect up to his feeding tube.
She had brought salt to the hospital and was giving it to him through his feeding tube.
It was just a horrific, horrific scene to watch.
Nah, what? Guys, could you imagine if someday your parents just murdered you? I can't believe she's sitting there crying when she literally just murdered her son. Like, what even motivated her to do that? If you don't have money to raise a child, then just like put the kid up for adoption or something. This woman is a psycho. So guys, let's use this as the word of the day. Comment psycho mom if you've made it this far into the video. But guys, speaking of crazy stuff, this next one is also pretty crazy. When I was younger, I loved going to the local park as a kid and going on the swing. Didn't you guys as well? I don't know what it was just a feeling of swinging back and forth was so fun. And I was pretty much a pro at jumping off it while it was swinging. But guys, this mom actually killed her kid with a swing. And you won't believe how it happened.
Worst ways people have died, part 1. In 2016, a mother pushed her son on a swing for 2 days straight, non-stop, until he passed away. It turns out that sadly, she was mentally ill and was then sent to a mental institution. In 2018, a man named Keno Butler and his wife, Wendy Thompson, were drinking when they started having an argument. Wendy then attacked him with a knife and got him in the hand with it. But she didn't stop there. She then decided to jump on top of him, smothering him with over 300 pounds of body fat and sadly suffocating him. Before I tell you the last one, your boyfriend or girlfriend falls off a cliff with $20 billion. You can only save one. Who are you saving? Let me know down below. In 2021, Karina Smith had discovered that her own husband had been being very inappropriate with their children when they were younger. You won't believe this. She then filled a pot with boiling hot sugar water and dumped it on him while he was sleeping. He didn't survive that painful revenge.
That's so sad. Actually, pretty scary. That mom was just too unwell to realize that she had been pushing that child for 2 days straight. Like, how does that even happen? Her kid literally froze to death because they were outside for so long. And how did nobody stop her? Like, the kid must have been screaming that he was cold. I'm so confused. Also, that other woman was right for getting her revenge on her husband. You never mess with a mom's kids. Alright, Vanilla Beans, this next story I'm about to tell you is just heartbreaking. Imagine you're a little kid, just living it up with your mom and dad. But then suddenly, the unthinkable happens. Your mom gets cancer and dies. As a result, your dad finds a new woman and has other children, slowly forgetting about you. This is what happened to the girl who died in this abandoned house. Check it out.
What the is that?
11-year-old Clara's body was found in an abandoned house by the roadside. The coroner determined she died from hypothermia. She was curled up in a corner, clutching the stuffed animal her mother had given her before she passed away. The police called me to clean up the scene. They told me that Clara's mother died of cancer 4 years ago, and her father remarried. having new children with his new wife. Over time, Clara's father started to dislike her. Because of her family situation, Clara was often bullied at school. Clara was too scared to tell her father about the bullying because he wouldn't help her. As time passed, Clara developed mental health issues with no one to turn to. About 2 weeks ago, Clara left home, hugging the toy her mother had given her before she passed. Her father didn't think much of it and continued his routine of drinking late into the night. Clara's mother must be worried sick in heaven, but now Clara won't have to suffer anymore. She's finally reunited with her mother.
How did the dad not realize that he had left his daughter to fend for herself until she died? Like, that's some next level dismissal. She just froze to death while holding her favorite teddy. That's just heartbreaking. I hope she's happy in heaven with her mom. Okay guys, y'all remember how in one of my latest videos, I showed y'all a guy being sucked into an MRI machine because he had a metallic implant? Well, this incident is kinda similar. Imagine you just got through a long series of surgeries, and then when you're finally done, you just need to do an MRI scan. That's what happened to this kid, but his ending wasn't as happy as you'd expect.
He was rushed to a routine MRI after a life-saving surgery. The nurse ignored the danger signs and carried an oxygen tank inside. The massive machine ripped the tank from her hands and killed the 6-year-old instantly.
Oh my god, that's horrifying. Ew, just the mental image of it gives me shivers. Like, imagine a load guy in that tube, and then a metal cylinder flying into the hole at like the speed of a race car. Yeah, that's basically what happened. That's why you never bring anything metallic into an MRI room. Alright, for this last one, I've got something just absolutely shocking. Y'all have probably been out walking before and seen like a mound of rocks or like sand. Well, if you ever see gray sand near a construction site, run. Just going near this material could literally kill you, and you won't even realize. Check it out.
This 7-year-old boy died just minutes after taking this picture, and the way that he died is especially gruesome. At first glance, you might think that what you're looking at right now is an innocent picture of a little boy playing in some sand. But what the young boy didn't realize that day is that he just jumped into a pile of dust. Because this isn't sand, it's pulverized limestone. It's commonly used in construction sites to make bricks, cement, and concrete. So when it's in this crushed state, it releases a very hazardous toxic powder. Construction workers even have to use masks, goggles, and gloves to handle it. So when this young boy found this huge pile of it on the side of the road and jumped in, little did he know that he just jumped to his death. So how does it kill you? Imagine breathing in billions of tiny poisonous shards of glass, 100 times smaller than a grain of sand. These get trapped into the lung tissue, preventing the lungs from being able to take in oxygen. So this little boy literally suffocated to death while frantically trying to gasp for air.
Limestone can kill you? I thought it was only asbestos. I knew that stuff is super dangerous, but limestone? That's just crazy. That's like a pretty common building material, right? I'll be staying away from great mounds of dust from now on. I'm not gonna be cut up from the inside like this kid. Alright, that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you all didn't get too scared of these kids dying. You'll probably live a long and happy life. I hope you all learned something new. And if you did, remember to like and subscribe. Maybe even leave a comment. It really helps my video get pushed in the algorithm, so new people see my vids. And as always, Vanilla Beans, stay safe.